Hello and welcome to the GPTV Bentleigh edition. We are wrapping up November 2019. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Leon Guzenfitter.
You are indeed, and you're much more appropriately attired there with your tie on. I'm a little bit casual today, Leon, but it's good to see that you are the professional amongst the duo presenting here.
That's right. I'm not game enough just yet to have a tireless episode on my end.
Fair enough. Lots going on, Leon. I mean, we've just had a weekend where our clearance rate was some 72%.
82%.
82% against the industry.
Short.
Industry average 72.
Yep.
Us 82%. I did join forces with you and meet up with you at the auction in South Road on the weekend. That was pretty competitive, wasn't it?
Do you want to start there?
Well, we can start with that, but I think let's talk a bit about an overview of the market. I'm going to jump around a bit, shake it up a little bit, because I know that just off camera, before we got on here, we started talking about all of these off-market sales.
We have.
And I think for some sellers, they might prefer, some sellers, they want to go all the way with the bells and whistles of an auction, of course. I don't think anyone does that better than we do, but that's just, an impartial view.
Completely unbiased.
Completely unbiased. But then others say, look, this is my product, this is my situation. I would rather just, if I can get this price, or what price do you think I can get, and if there's consensus around a price or a premium, if I can sell it before auction or without an auction or off market, I'd like to do so. And there's many buyers that would say, look, I'd rather not go into an auction situation. I'd rather know what something's worth, secure it now on my own. Tell us about how that's working for us right now.
I sort of feel like we're probably out of my core team of 4 or 5 people selling one a week at the moment. Doesn't actually, you won't see on the main real estate sites. I do think it's not as difficult as some people make it out to be, because the reality is, even when we sell through the whole auction campaign and we look at the buyer's profile when we're signing the docs, that buyer's been through our properties on multiple times. We know where they live, we know where their email address, their phone number, which means the people who are going through homes and are missing out, we can en masse reach them very easily and basically bring more or less of the market straight away to a property. And we have had circumstances where someone needs to sell quickly, they've made a purchase, they don't have time to move their tenant out, there's a lease in place, there's some complexities about access, and we've been able to get, I think, as good prices almost as would be at auction, just running some people through, negotiating and selling.
And some of those situations are some of those, outcomes are born out of situations where there's just a need, but other times just a desire. Some people say, look, I just prefer to do it that way, which is fine too. One of the sales that we were talking about also, just going back to the database and how we're working our buyers, you were talking about a property that was, I think, listed by Caulfield or listed by St Kilda, handled by Caulfield, sold by Bentleigh.
You sort of muddling around a little bit, but basically a property at 19 Jasper Road in Bentleigh.
That was it.
Which I had listed with a lovely couple. Actually went to school with with a husband, with Luke.
Very good. Yep.
And they've got a young family. They kind of didn't want to have opens every single week. They weren't sure where they're going, and they kind of said, Leon, if you can get us a price around here, we'll probably move without the whole hoo-ha and the expense and I guess the commitment. They were only 50-50. And so we took a few people through, probably had 20 people through the place over 3 or 4 email and SMS blast kind of inspections. And then we had an auction of a comparable property in Caulfield South. And this is a bit of a lesson to us all how buyers move around.
That's right.
Auction in Caulfield South, one of the underbidders was taken by Michael Jonas, who works out of our St Kilda office, told him about the property in Jasper Road, Bentleigh. They came through, they loved it, they made an offer, we got into a negotiation and we sold it for what I think is a really standout price. And without, I guess, putting both the buyer and the seller through a process that they kind of didn't want to go through. And that's just one example of something that probably happens every week.
And it doesn't happen every week for every agency. It happens in our agency particularly because of the harmony and the way that our officers work together. It's very different to that traditional territorial franchise model.
And just, I don't know if we could break down that a bit further, but Michael, who sits in the office in St Kilda, has taken a buy from a bidder at Caulfield South, and he gets remunerated for bringing that buy. It's very
rewarded,
cooperatively competitive within our office, and absolutely, he looks at the stock list, goes, what other brick semis do we have in a 5K radius? Sees we've got Jasper Road, brings them there, they love it. Deal's done.
Everybody's a winner. So many of our sales, up to a third of our sales actually, or around a third of our sales, often just work because of our network and how well it works. We've also sold some other interesting properties. Lorraine Avenue was an interesting story. I don't want to go through too many sales because it can get a bit boring, but this story in Lorraine Avenue is a good story, isn't it?
It went to market with it's in Brighton East with a more Bay Street, Church Street agent probably 6 months ago. And the things were tougher 6 months ago, so we're not sort of canning them at all, but it went to market. We don't believe they had anything that was tangible.
Yeah.
They gave it a bit of a rest. Glenn Bricker was good enough to list the property. We took it to the market and sold it, I think, 3 days after the auction for a price that that made sense, and I think was a good solid price in the market to a really nice couple that has we've done business with before in the past as well. But a very solid price, and again, north of $2 million doesn't seem like such a big deal anymore in East Brighton.
Yes, and that's what's going on a lot in East Brighton. The auction I referred to at the very start of the show was in South Road.
Yes.
Now that was an interesting home at 385A, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
And this home had a separate apartment. It had a house that was very nice. Separate apartment and also a pool in the back.
Yeah.
But it was getting a bit dated as well.
That's right.
And the owner had been there for many, many years.
Nearly
Most
60.
delightful family. Yeah. And that one sold, we were expecting 125 to 135.
135.
The reserve was within the range. Sold for 1,460,000.
That's right.
Very strong result. Three bidders going hard at it. And of course, Philip strutting his stuff up there with a coffee van, pumping out some beautiful lattes.
With his very sexy straw hat that he wears,
right.
Being very sun smart. He loves that little hat.
He does love that hat.
That was a good result to have on the weekend.
Quinns Road, you were talking to me about that also. Tell us a bit more about that.
So there's a new development there at 12 to 14 Quinns Road, a mixture of 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. Most of them would have been sold off the plan, but Julian Millman and Lisa Alberts from our agency who specialise in that sort of off the plan or new or under construction category have now sold a fourth one in there. So the last one they sold during the month of November was apartment 102, which is a 2-bedder at a very entry level at $475.
Yeah, so there are a lot of off the plan sales happening now across the group as well.
Yeah.
There's some great development happening in Bentleigh and Bentleigh East in particular, a lot in that pocket.
Yeah.
But of course it spreads through all across, doesn't it?
think even
Murrabina and Minnikinnon and Ormond and Carnegie.
Yeah, and I think Philip mentioned just recently we had a statistic that in the last week of sales, about a third of our sales, or 32% of our sales, were either under construction, off the plan, or in the brand new space. So it's something that we're very much getting stronger in, and there's a lot of appetite from buyers for it. So bring it on if you're a developer and you're looking to sell some new or under construction projects. We've got a very good appetite for it.
And if you want to buy, a lot of those places you won't see marketed or advertised, but we have access to them.
That's right.
So give us a call as a buyer as well. Talking about buyers, they will want to know about our new listings. There is still some great properties going up this year.
Yeah.
We've got a very sexy book of listings for February and March.
Next year,
very excited about that. Lots coming up.
Lots of work to come back
which
to.
is going to be interesting, So you have yourself a good break. Both days, both days you have.
The 2 days off.
The 2 days. Enjoy both of those days, Leon. Really, I mean that. So let's talk a little bit about the new listings that we've got at the moment. What's happening right now? Because we've got some great stuff in December.
Yeah, so we've got an auction this weekend at 20 Normanby Road in Bentleigh East that Jan and John are handling, which is a very, very comfortable single level home. And we've had pretty good interest in there. There is some whispers about it selling before the auction, but we are speaking to a few buyers about it. But it's been really reasonably well.
Tell us a bit about it.
Well, it's a very comfortable single level home. You can even improve it a bit further. But that sector of the market, Gary, that's sort of between 1 and 1.5 million in Bentleigh East, there is just a plethora of buyers for it. There is just so much. That is a very hot price point.
A lot of demand.
A lot of demand for freestanding homes in that high 500 to 600 square metre range, where anywhere between 1 and 1.5, there seems to be a line of buyers ready to go.
We find ourselves back in East Brighton as we are doing so much work there. Tell us a bit about Clinton Street. This is a great looking property.
It's a real surprise packet. We've had it open for a couple of weekends now, and I can hand on heart say everyone that's gone through the place was surprised at how big it was and how well built it was, and really congratulations to the developer that's been building it for almost 2 years. So a bit of a labour of love for the family that's doing it, but it's a real knockout, much bigger than the average side by side because it sits on a more than 800 square metre original block of land. So each half is a bit over 400 square metres, and hence you get a product that really doesn't compromise anything. It's got a great yard, it's got a downstairs main bedroom option, it's got a second living room downstairs, it's got a living room upstairs and the main bedroom upstairs as well. So
great location,
if you're looking for really a house, circa that high $1 to maybe $2 million range, 48A Clinton Street, Brighton East. It's got a little park at the end of the street. It's a dead end street. I know it's not the preferred way to describe it. It's a cul-de-sac.
That's right,
but it's got a little park and a playground right at the end of that sort of that Union Street, off between Union Street and the end of Clinton Street. It's a really lovely little setting there.
Very nice spot indeed. Something special in Hawthorne Road coming up as well?
Yeah, we've got a house, a livable house. It's currently let, so it's obviously livable and rentable, but a really big block of land, Gary, 780 square metres on the corner.
Yep.
So it's nice to have a block that's got a lot of land, but to be on a corner and have a wider than normal frontage is very rare. So it could be just a land bank investor, because it's already under management. We could easily take it over for the next investor. But for a very savvy developer that can maybe do something. And the other thing we're good for, if there are any people in the medical business or something like that, we're finding a lot of these corner allotments on Main Road are very popular with, mid-sized medical practice kind of, whether it's a GP or an orthodontist, or
very flexible.
Yeah, an optometrist. We've
there.
seen a few along Hawthorne Road. So if you are in that medical practice business, this could be a really good site. 646 Hawthorne Road, Brighton East.
Back to Brighton East again. This property in Howell Street is not yet sold, but I
not.
think the price that's on it should get it sold pretty soon.
Yeah. So we've got a very realistic asking price at $1,769,000. And if there is, I think we touched on it last Bentleigh Report, but if you are at someone that's looking to downscale and want something that's very special, very well built, and has a lift, so you never have to worry about the stairs situation. It's been purposely built, I would say, for exactly that demographic where they want something private, secure, and not worry about the stairs with a double lock-up garage. Very hard to find.
Development site North Road, also a standout property. Tell us
about
that.
It is. I mean, this is probably the biggest development that's going to come to the market in the McKinnon School Zone this year. Wow. So it's got a planning permit for 14 townhouses.
Fantastic.
So it's the hard work's been done. The permit's been
all the time and energy
effort
and frustration of getting the permits happening.
Absolutely right. So very exciting. We've had a fair bit of inquiry. We've got 3.9 to 4.29 on that, and it's been, I would say, very well inquired in online. And if you are a sort of mid to upper size developer and you can handle a project that size and you've missed it, 646 and 648 North Road, Bentleigh East, in the McKinnon School Zone, very good.
I've got a buy for you. Talk to me about it after the
show.
Just
come to you?
It has. We'll talk about that, someone in mind. Bruthen Street. Bruthen Street in Moorabbin. Last listing to talk about. Tell us about it.
Well, it's back in that sort of off-market. We started talking about off-market. Back in the off-market, you won't find this on the internet. It's a 1-year-old.
It's in our pocket.
It's in our pocket. It's a 1-year-old. Or just
go in and have a look. That doesn't sound right, does it? Go on.
1-year-old, really well put together, double-storey, 4-bedroom townhouse, again with a downstairs main bedroom option, which is becoming a very popular way to do it, just to make sure the stairs aren't an issue for anybody. And there's it's leased at the moment till February, so an investor could take over and keep it as an investment. But while the tenants are in there, we're not going to take it to market formally. But if you are looking for a townhouse in that sort of 1.2, 1.25, 1.3 range, please make an inquiry with us. We'll get you through it and maybe sell it to you.
Great opportunity, and that's a little bit of a wrap there. Many other properties, of course, on our books for sale, but we can't go through them all. The show would go for half an hour, and it would become boring.
There's a few very good ones for that Bentleigh, Ormond, McKinnon area that have been listed that we're not talking about yet. But
under wraps.
I would say when we start this show in 2020, we're very excited about what's coming.
Explosive start to the year, but so if you're looking to buy, call us, register your details, because as soon as some of these places get released, we can let you know about them before they go online or before the general market knows about it, because that's a bit of an off-market opportunity. This is a bit of an off-market episode, isn't it, Leon?
That's right.
And that's a big wrap on the Bentleigh Report. Lots going on in Bentleigh, lots happening in Centre Road.
It is.
It's going to get busy now with the
just
Christmas
gone
shopping.
Through the Bentleigh Festival. That was exciting yesterday. Couldn't get through anywhere. It was everything was blocked off.
Yeah.
So
how was that? Where was that?
It was on Centre Road, sort of between. Sort of started around Wheatley Road all the way up to Jasper, and
the stall holders and fun things.
Was
Did
full
you get
of
into
people.
it? Or you didn't have time?
Did opens and options all day, but I heard from a few people that did go down. It was a lot of fun. So another great local event in Bentleigh that maybe we should get more involved in next year.
Well, it wasn't long. We also did a review. I don't know if we've got any photos, but we also got involved in the Halloween event.
We did have the Halloween event.
Yeah, tell us about that. The Spooktacular event. That
was great. Yeah, it's hosted out of there near the back of the Coatesville Tennis Club. And difficult thing this year was about 36 degrees that day. And it took me, Jess and the 2 kids to go trick-or-treating, and most of the lollies were melting in their hands by the time they got to the next house. So other than the fact it was absolutely boiling, it was a successful event. I'm not sure the coffee van was that popular, unfortunately, although it was there.
Good for the waters.
They probably needed the iced coffees there that
possibly
day.
so.
But another great local event that we really enjoyed being part of.
There's so much going on in Bentleigh. It's great to be part of it all. It's great to have the office roaring in Bentleigh. We've got some new people involved in the office as well. There's exciting things going on there. So we look forward to bringing you all of the news in probably the start of 2020. So that's a big wrap, but still plenty to go this year as well. And that's a wrap on this Bentleigh Report. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Leon Guzenfitter.
And we'll see you next year. Have a great and safe break.